A progress report on Senate climate legislation. Co-author John Kerry talks to Clean Skies News about the bill's nuclear title. Fallout over Lisa Jackson's letter to coal state Democrats about EPA's plans to regulate greenhouse gases through the Clean Air Act. And is speculation driving up oil prices? Energy Secretary Chu speaks out as he meets with Middle East energy officials in Saudi Arabia.
From the Energy News Center in Washington, D.C., this is the Energy Report with Susan McGinnis.
Good afternoon, I'm Susan McGinnis. Thanks for joining us for the Energy Report. Well, despite the obituaries being written about his upcoming climate bill, co-author John Kerry says he is now excited about the progress he and his fellow senators are making. Today, Kerry outlines some of the elements of his long-awaited legislation during a Washington policy event titled What's Next for Climate Policy. Senator Kerry shared a few clues today, saying the bill will be comprehensive, and he'd be surprised if the final version does not include a price collar on carbon emission allowances. Afterward, Clean Skies' Tyler Suiters asked him about one of the most critical portions of the climate bill.
What's the mechanism for pricing carbon is the real key here. And we need to take that's what we're trying to figure out, is how do we do that in the most effective way.
Is it fair to say the nuclear title is complete, sir? Is it fair to say the nuclear title is complete now?
We're pretty close. We've got a very good sense of what it is. We're working with people. We need to pass it by a number of people, so it's not complete yet. But we have a pretty good sense of what it is, and we're pretty comfortable with it.
And Senator Kerry also talked about the prospects of passing a clean energy bill without an adjoining climate bill, and what the Senate Majority Leader recently told Kerry about the plans about climate legislation. You can find Tyler Suiters' complete update on John Kerry's discussion of the Senate climate bill right here at cleanskies.com. Well, today was supposed to be the day that EPA Administrator Lisa Jackson defended her fiscal 2011 budget proposal. Well, instead, lawmakers on the House Environment and Public Works Committee launched into a heated discussion about the myths and facts about climate change. Republican lawmakers asked the administrator if she was planning on scrapping the endangerment finding because it was based on the false evidence from the UNIPCC. She told lawmakers no and told reporters afterwards, after the hearing, that climate change is happening and so will greenhouse gas regulations.
I believe all the new information we have doesn't lead to any different conclusion than what we reached in the endangerment finding, and that is that the climate is changing and that the mankind is responsible in part for that change, and that we need to move aggressively. We need to move to clean energy legislation. We need to move to addressing carbon and putting a price on carbon.
Well, yesterday, Jackson sent a letter to 8 coal state lawmakers informing them that EPA will not regulate greenhouse gases from power plants and other industrial facilities until 2011. The agency as yet has no regulations in place. She told reporters today the timing has nothing to do with the climate change debate. See what she told reporters about her letter, her views on the climate debate, and the path forward right here at cleanskies.com. While the administration detailed its plans for greenhouse gas regulation, it was less forthcoming on legislation, specifically what might emerge from Capitol Hill. Earlier today, White House Energy Advisor Carol Browner at the National Press Club said she'll wait to see what Senators Kerry, Graham, and Lieberman come up with.
We're going to continue to work with the members who have expressed interest to see what is possible. At this point in time, we are not going to put forward legislative proposals because we think that the work that is going on up on the Hill is moving at a nice speed, and we're going to continue to work with those folks.
Browner said she's also optimistic about energy legislation this year because so many business leaders are in favor of certainty in energy policy. The EPA and DOE's National Renewable Energy Lab are teaming up to evaluate the feasibility of developing renewable energy production on Superfund, brownfields, and former landfill or mining sites. EPA is investing more than $650,000 for the project that pairs EPA's expertise on contaminated sites with the renewable energy expertise of NREL. The project will analyze the potential development of wind, solar, and small hydro development at 12 sites around the country. Energy Secretary Chu spoke out today against price swings in the oil markets, saying that the volatility of the price seems to be far in excess of demand and supply, suggesting speculation is partially to blame. His remarks come in contrast with Sam Bodman, the last previous Energy Secretary, who denied speculation was driving oil prices to record highs. Chu is in Saudi Arabia right now on a swing through the Middle East, meeting with energy officials. Regarding oil supplies, he dismissed the idea that global oil production was at or near a peak and is expected to slide because depletion is outrunning new discoveries. At least 20 workers are trapped after a methane gas explosion in a Turkish coal mine. This happened near the town of Dursunbey. State-run Anatolian news agency reports that 49 miners were believed to be inside the mine at the time of the collapse. 23 of them have been evacuated so far. Time for a look now at some energy goings-on around the Beltway tomorrow. At 10:30, the Senate Appropriations Committee has a hearing in Dirksen with Secretary of State Clinton to examine the fiscal year 2011 budget request for the Department of State. At 11, the Environmental Integrity Project and Earth Justice have a teleconference on the dangers of coal ash pollution in drinking water, and we'll talk about recent EPA rulings and the budget. And 2 p.m. Eastern, House Appropriations Committee holds a hearing in Rayburn with EPA Administrator Lisa Jackson on protecting public health and the environment and EPA's 2011 budget. That's the Energy Report. We'll see you tomorrow with your latest energy news. For any suggestions or comments about our programming here on Clean Skies News, you can find us at contact@cleanskies.com. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook too. From all of us here in the Energy News Center, good night.